Hi guys, the whole point of minister statements or PMQs is for MPs to challenge the government on policies or legislation. But as we've seen before, I think the whole thing is pretty pointless at times. So the new government has decided to limit the funding for a £2 bus fare cap, which is due to end soon. This could have seen fares rising way beyond that. Now the Transport Secretary has decided that instead of a £2 cap, she will raise it to £3. Now this issue has caused, like some others, a bit of a split in the Labour Party, because the poorest in society are deeply impacted by any rise in the cost of public transport. But listen how the government minister responded to a measure to protect bus users in Greater Manchester.
Zarah Sultana.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Over 62,000 people have already signed my petition on change.org to protect the £2 bus fare cap. One young person shared how rising fares makes it increasingly difficult for them to get to college, while another described public transport as a vital lifeline against loneliness. Affordable public transport is essential not only to alleviate economic hardship, but also to address the climate crisis. So instead of increasing the fare cap by 50% to £3 and costing ordinary people hundreds of pounds more a year, why doesn't the government take a page from Greater Manchester's Labour Mayor, Andy Burnham, who's committed to maintaining the £2 fare cap to ensure that public transport remains accessible to everyone?
The combination of Andy Burnham having franchised powers and this transformational funding is why he can keep the bus fare cap at £2 in Greater Manchester. The combination of this transformational funding and more powers to the rest of the country will absolutely enable them to keep fares low as well.
Sorry, I don't understand that response. It makes zero sense to me. So you're saying that because Andy Burnham is the mayor of Greater Manchester and he has this extra funding, that's why he can keep the cap at £2 instead of me increasing it to £3. But you have more power than Andy Burnham has. Andy Burnham is the mayor of Greater Manchester. You are the Secretary of State for Transport. You're a government minister. This makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know why she brought up this point. You're being asked, why don't you copy what Andy Burnham is doing? And your response is, yes, but Andy Burnham has special powers. Powers in what field? In regards to transport? Are you honestly saying that you are less powerful when it comes to transport than Andy Burnham is? That doesn't make any sense. Why is Andy Burnham not sitting in cabinet meetings then on transport? So what she seems to be, I don't know, lying here or what? I don't know. Now, I've said before that I'm an advocate for free public transportation. Universal basic transport, if you want to put it that way. Where this would be great for the environment, it would be great for society, more people using public transport, fewer people using their cars, and it would be better for ordinary people who are struggling to get by at the moment. Free public transport. They wouldn't have to worry about, can I make it to the end of the month? Can I cover my bus ticket? Do I need to avoid the inspector or whatever because I can't afford to pay the bus ticket or the train ticket or whatever? So it would eliminate all of that. Now, it would come at a cost, of course, but we could increase taxes to cover that. I think there's value in that, huge amount of value for society, for the environment, and for ordinary people. But back to this response. You're supposed to answer the question, but perhaps she can't answer the question. She can't say why Andy Burnham is keeping the cap at £2 and she's increasing it to £3. She can't say, well, it's because Andy Burnham has more power than I do. Because he doesn't. He obviously can't have more power when it comes to transport than the Secretary of State for Transport. I understand that this policy was going to run out, I think, at the end of this year, and fares would go through the roof. But be honest with Zarah Sultana, the MP who asked this question. Maybe there's some bad blood between independent MPs who used to be part of the Labour Party and government ministers because of what happened at the beginning of Parliament. I don't know if that's the reason why she's answering in this way. But it's not an answer. And this comes back to the point I raised at the beginning. What is the point in asking questions if those questions are not going to be answered? Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.